Right. This is almost at the middle of June, well into, I guess, the summertime. Summertime. Got a few people coming in. We're about to get started in just a couple of minutes. Advancing Black Businesses, your 501c4 that's here to educate you and get you in touch with public policy even more than you've been engaged before. We're here to talk about the issues. We're here to talk about how do we get more contracting at the local, the state, and federal level. How do we get involved in this public policy as an advocate? Thank you for joining us. We are here today. All right, the time is 8:31. We are starting in approximately 1 minute. 1 minute. All right, 8:31. People are coming in. All right, it is 8:32 a.m. Welcome to Advancing Black Businesses Public Policy Talks. 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. may go over a couple of minutes from time to time, but we have a guest speaker for us today, Montina Young Fraser, which I'm going to turn it over to Montina shortly. But thanks everyone for coming in. We have a lot going on out here, but I will start with let's see, let me get my notes up. We have a golf tournament coming up. That golf tournament is going to be a Top Golf. It is on June the 24th. June the 24th. You can register. You'll see that information come up in the chat shortly. You can register for that. You can come and network with us. Only $75 to network with us. You can come to play golf. Play golf at Top Golf. We'll be on that second, and actually looking at the third level. There's a rooftop at the third level, depending on the attendance. We could possibly be on that third level. It will start at noon. 12 noon. I was about to say the conference, but the event, the golf tournament will take approximately 2 to 2.5 hours. There will be teams. You can bring a team up to 6 people. No need in fighting on who's going to be on that 4-man team. Just add that extra 2 people to that team, and you can come on in and have a great time at golf. Mainly, it's going to be driving to those 5 different holes that we have. You'll have 4 shots per hole, per player. It is a best ball scramble. Best ball scramble, meaning the best ball that's hit to that particular hole. You will actually take that as your top score. So it'll be very competitive. If you are even a non-golfer, this is your time to play in a golf tournament. If you are a non-golfer, we have the clubs will be there for you. Don't have to worry about bringing any clubs. I know these pros, they're going to bring out those nice top golf clubs, and we're looking forward to that. But it'll be somewhat competitive, but most of all, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a chance to actually network with your chamber members and other guests that will be there. We may have some politicians actually in the house. But June the 24th, Top Golf. June the 24th, Top Golf. Just to jump right in before I turn it over to Montina Young Fraser, is going to talk to you about many different things at the local, the state level. But just this week, there was a case in Tulsa. You heard me talk about the Tulsa race massacre back in 1921, on May 31st, 1921. The case, the Oklahoma Supreme Court decided 8-1. Again, 8-1. 8 out of the 9 justices threw it out of the court, decided that this is nothing that they're going to decide on. We have 2 surviving members of the Tulsa race riot back in 1921. 2 surviving members. I can remember back in the mid-90s, the late to mid-90s, when Johnny Cochran took over the case. He and Professor Ogletree took over that case, and there were somewhere around 35-ish of those survivors actually living. And just having a quick conversation with Montina, her grandfather was there in 1921. I think, Montina, you said he was 12 years old.
My
And
great-grandfather, yes, sir.
great grandfather was there. That's still the massacres, slavery that's still living with us today. We just saw a public policy case, a case in the Supreme Court in Oklahoma that was not on our side. So that'll be in the chat. No, everybody probably knows about that, but the case will be in the chat. Please look over that. Just not forget about what happened in Tulsa, what happened in many of our Black business communities, our Black communities. We were segregated back then. We actually churned that dollar inside the Black community, y'all. We'll get more into that in the months to come, because ABB is all about educating you. We're mandated, just to let you know, 20% of what we do is centered around advocating on public policy, but 80% of what we do has to be about education, educating you on public policy, educating you on how your best ways to engage in the public policy process. Also, I have one more thing, Montina, before I turn it over to you. Let me see. Why am I forgetting what it is? There it is right there. Let me scroll down. That is the White House fact sheet on Juneteenth. That'll go in the chat. Also, Juneteenth is coming up. That's our national holiday. That is an American national holiday. We should be focusing on what happened in America, Juneteenth, back many years ago. A couple of years after the Emancipation Proclamation, there was a Field Order 3. Field Order 3 that summoned that actually in the state of Texas, where we were still being held in slavery. That Field Order 3 made that official announcement and done away with slavery 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. But that information is in the chat about the fact sheet from the White House on Juneteenth. The fact sheet about White House on Juneteenth. There's a talk about a lot of the history. They get kind of light when it comes to the solutions. This is a day that we should be talking about. That's June the 19th. We should be really telling America what we're doing, what our answer is to Juneteenth. It's not the case that I'm seeing. I'm seeing concerts at the White House. I'm seeing celebrations. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, I don't like it. I want to see more of talking about transformational public policy change on this day. That's what we should be concentrating on. And I'm not seeing that from the White House. I'm not even seeing that from some of our national organizations. They're showing up at the concert at the White House. And this is not a day to celebrate or have a concert. This is a day to reflect and actually talk about the solutions of what we're going to do to close that racial wealth gap, what we're going to do to actually get us out of this rut that we're in. But I'm going to stop right there. Let me stop because I'll go on. Montina Young Fraser, please come to us and take over. Let us know what's going on in your world. Advocate for us, y'all. She is in those local governments, in those boards. Let's hear from Montina. Take it away, Montina.
Thank you, Markee. Thanks, Melvin. Hello, everyone. I am so honored to be a part of the Atlanta Black Chambers and also to be able to have the privilege to speak to all of you today. So my topic, I'm gonna put here in the chat real quick, and Raquel has the links that I sent her, but we're gonna talk about the building blocks for building Black businesses. Because y'all know I come on and I always have these ideas and Markee obliges me, but we're really, and I thought about this because I have like a lot of blocks around. So we're gonna talk about the blocks. So first thing is, we know that less than 2% of government contracts in the state of Georgia are awarded to minority-owned businesses. And we always say, oh, we're not awarded the contracts. Well, we're not awarded the contracts because we're not bidding on the contracts. So I've been meeting with someone from the governor's office. I have a direct line there. So I want to show you some of the ways that you can bid. Now I'm gonna tell you, when I talk the building blocks, we're gonna talk the B's. Business, and I have my notes here, y'all. Y'all know I stay on point. Business, we're talking about bids. We're going to talk about boards today. We're going to talk about building relationships, and we're going to talk a little bit about Black love, Black families too. So I don't have that much time, so we're going to go in here, and I'm going to share my screen, and I am going to focus. All right, so let me go here and share my screen. All right, so when we're talking about procurement, okay, the thing that we want to think about with procurement in Georgia. So as we're talking about business, I'm actually meeting with Paula Watts. I'm sure she's on the call. You can bid at the federal level, you can do state, you can do local. Local encompasses county, your cities, your municipalities, they call them villages, townships. We have 159 counties in Georgia. We have 537 cities, townships, villages, municipalities in Georgia. We have an $11 billion surplus in the state of Georgia. So you can play at the federal level, you can play at the state level. So Paula, you have her here. We can play at the federal level there. Every single week, Tuesday at 2 p.m., I do Connecting the Dots in the great state of Georgia. You can play in the state of Georgia. So either way, I want you to start bidding on these contracts. So when we look here at the business, I'm on the Georgia Procurement website. This is Georgia Procurement. So when you come on here and you go to search, you'll see here government entities type of responses. And again, I'm going to go through this fairly quickly, and we're going to look at what's open, but you can see the different awards. Okay, I've seen contracts on here go for 25 million, okay? Literally on here, 50 million. We had a contract in Henry County with 2 bids go for 50 million. And you'll see the entities. So you have the school boards, the commissioners, the cities, the water authorities, technical schools. Now, here's the thing about the procurement in Georgia. If it's under a specific amount, you'll never see it listed. So I wanted to bring that up. I actually have a county in Henry County. I have a contract in Henry County where I'll be talking about how to do business with Henry County. If the bid is under 100,000, guess what? It's not even going on the procurement. You see that here? It's not even going on procurement. If it's under $7,500, you only need 1 quote. So these are things that we need to know as it relates to playing at the state, local, county, city level, water authorities, your libraries. There's plenty of opportunities. So when we go in here and search, I like to come in and just look, and I go to the start date because I want to see what was posted out here from today. We have something at 7:43 a.m. and this will update all day long. Okay, you'll come here at 1 p.m. and you'll see things listed. You can come in here and see what's been listed here. And then you can also do a specific keyword search specific for what it is that you do. Now be creative because something, maybe nothing that comes up. So be creative, be creative. So if you put marketing, it doesn't come up, put training, you might put video production. So again, and if it hasn't been here, go to the event status and look for all to see when it may have been awarded. So again, you'll see the different opportunities. But again, keep in mind, if it's under a specific amount, it may not be posted on here. So it might be posted actually on the website. So here, again, right here on Henry County. Okay, y'all know I rep my county down here in Henry. So we can see if there's open bids because they may be on the website. So that's why it's very important to understand what it is that you do. Okay, so let's look here at their bids. And it may not be any. Okay, here we go. Open bids. Let me come here and see what our open bids are. And this is what happens when you do things in real time. So typically there might be, but it may not be anything out here. So they have bids out here on procurement because again, it's over 100,000. And we can also, here they go. So there's a replacement for flooring. If you know someone that does flooring, there's a replacement for flooring. Now, again, this may or may not be out on the whole procurement. Okay, here's the documents for surfacing of various county roads. I have been sitting in board meetings and heard 3 miles of pavement for like $300,000 for pavement markings. So again, these are things I want you to be aware of. So this is part of the business. The other part of the business that I'm going to stop here and share as we're talking about this is, yes, we want to make sure that we're bidding and on the business side, but we also want to make sure that we are purchasing items from our Black-owned vendors, right? And I'm going to show that here. So again, we want to make sure that we're purchasing the products from other businesses. These are some Black-owned products I got from Black New Wall Street. So again, focusing on our business, but how can we support the other businesses? And I'm going to show you specifically about that. So now let's go into our boards. This is a big one that I talk a lot about. So you guys know, many of you know, I'm going into politics. So I'm not building a $100 million business. I need to manage a $100 million budget. We have had former mayors, current mayors, former commissioners, council members. You can start at your city council, but Gwinnett has a great one here because you can see all of the boards and you can see all of the open opportunities for the boards. Did you know there were this many boards? Now, I'm in Henry County. So what I do is I have a 3-ring binder. And when I go to these board meetings, these in here are all agendas. Okay, they're tabbed, they're agendas. I take my notes directly from the agenda. So I might sit there and I might have a little bit of notes, and then I have some that are full pages of notes. What meetings do I go to? City council, commissioners. I go to the water authority meetings. I go to economic development board meetings. Okay, they're public meetings. You should know your mayor in your city. Yesterday, I was at a Department of Transportation meeting, and East Point mayor was there, Mayor Ingram, Deanna Ingram. And so I asked her a specific question. She said, where was I at? I said, McDonough. I had on a McDonough pin because I'm active in my community. And she said, oh, do you know Mayor Vincent? I said, absolutely. She's a friend of mine. I have her cell phone number. Can we take a picture? The mayor from Waynesboro was there, James Jones. So again, I want you to know who your mayor is, know who your city council members are, and at least attend a commissioner meeting. So this is a very specific call to action for y'all here. We need to be showing up at these meetings. I want to say I saw something on LinkedIn, and I believe it was Clayton County that was removing their like MBE certification there. And you know, if you're not a small business and you're not showing up and you provide a public comment, then things are happening and you don't know what's going on. I saw a $300,000 plus contract go per month for trash collection with 3 bids per month for 5 years with renewals. So again, I want you, and you can do this for your county, for your city. We need to understand how local government works. On the local side, you have your county, which has its own board meetings. You have your city that has its own council meetings. And again, you have your water authorities, you have your economic authorities. And again, there's a lot more here. Can you get appointed to a committee? Yes, but if no one knows you, you're not going to get appointed. So that's why you want to make sure that you show up and know your city mayor, your city council members, and commissioners. All of your city council members have appointments to make to these different boards. Okay, so let's look here. Oh, let's look down here at the zoning. We want to understand how zoning works. Okay, so again, you cannot get appointed if you're not showing up. We have to start showing up. Members serve a 1-year term. Here's the minutes, qualifications, information, contact information in here. All these terms expire next year. Who are these people? And if you lived in Gwinnett County, some of them you don't even need to live in the county, then you can actually serve on these boards. So the next thing I said, again, I was going to talk about was building relationships. Now, this is important for us to understand. I put New Black Wall Street in here. Going to these events, make sure that you're showing up to the ABC events. Not all the events are you may not need to go to all of the events because they don't pertain to you, but go to the events that do. New Black Wall Street has events coming up all the time, as well as the Russell Center for Entrepreneurs. I'm a business advisor at Russell Center for Entrepreneurs. We have events typically every single day. It seems like I'm going in there and there's something going on. Sign up for the mailing list. New Black Wall Street, same thing. Sign up for the mailing list. See what's going on here. Participate. Build the relationships. When I was at the event yesterday for the Department of Transportation, a gentleman came up to me and he was from our Department of Transportation in Henry County, Sam Baker, and he came up to introduce, hey, Montina, it's good to see you here. Because again, as I'm going to these meetings, I'm in the associations and I'm getting to know the people. So make sure that you meet new people. Another thing that I'm going to show, and y'all know I have this information. I'm part of the Council for Quality Growth. I went to an event. These were all the state representatives. They gave us a whole list of everyone that would be there, including the mayor of Atlanta. Again, you just need the names. These are council members. I'm actually going to be running for city council. These are council members. They are people just like you and I that have businesses many of the time in the community. You need to make sure that you know them. All right. So again, going back here at my share, I did want to touch on our certifications, again, building Black businesses. I'm part of GMSDC, the Georgia Minority Supplier Development Council. If you're doing corporate work, you desire to do corporate work with all of the major corporations, this is how they play. They want you to be part of one of these organizations. As minorities, we can be part of this, or you can be part of the women owned. And I'll tell you, it is a big deal if you're doing corporate work. I do work with a couple of corporate clients. One is the largest staffing company in the world, and those opportunities came directly through GMSDC. They have a free orientation. Every single week, I'm talking about this with connecting the dots in the great state of Georgia. So again, take advantage. The other one is DBE certification. This is if you want to do work with the Department of Transportation. There are very specific things that you can do on the non-traditional and traditional side. Traditional plumbing, electrical, painting, millwork. Non-traditional is your marketing, photography, videography. I just met someone from MARTA yesterday. I was like, hey, we need videos. We've done work with MARTA before. So again, there's a checklist here. And the best part about the DBE certification, it's free. GMSDC has a cost. If you're not ready, it's okay. But with the DBE, you can get an interstate connection with this one. So if you have a DBE in Georgia, you have an interstate, you can go to Hawaii, Iowa, you just send in your paperwork. So it's really easy. Plus they have support services. You have MH Miles, support services, CE&I, and they are paid over $250,000 a year to help you with your capability statements, your websites, everything. The last thing that I'm going into is make sure that we're connected on LinkedIn with our Black businesses. We're sharing these policy talks. I mean, I'm a bold ADOS person. I'm American descendant of slavery. I am a direct descendant of Tulsa. And my family's direct descendants of Jean-Pierre Lafitte down in New Orleans. My grandma's 86. My grandmother on my father's side, her grandmother lived to 106. So we had a lot of history there. But we need to make sure that we're connecting. There are 51 of us participating today. We need to make sure that we are connecting with each other, showing up for each other, sharing content information, and helping each other first. I am ADOS first, and everybody else comes second. ADOS first. The last thing is I keep talking about, I'm connecting the dots in the great state of Georgia. I offer small business support hours, no cost. I'm not upselling anything. There's nothing for me to do but help you. And that's what I want to do. Make sure that you understand how to connect the dots in the great state of Georgia. So with that said, again, we talked about business and bidding. We cannot complain that there's less than 2% awarded if we're not bidding, because that's where they're looking at the numbers. The second thing is make sure get out and meet your mayor. I'm going to challenge you all over the next 30 days to attend a board meeting. Okay, one board meeting in your community, one board meeting. You need to meet your mayor at the city hall meeting, commissioner meetings, water authority development. I mean, there's so many I have here. Okay, you can't show up to everything. Once I figured out who I needed to know in what rooms, then I just attend the meetings for those rooms, and especially my city hall meetings, I don't miss. Building the relationships again with each other, the other Black-owned events and organizations. The last one I said, Black relationships and love. Y'all, we have to get our Black families in order. I do something for my married women. I think Sylvester said he'd take them in, but I do something every day called Let's Talk. It's a happy wife project that I have. And literally, I'm just talking when I come home from the gym. And it is to support marriage for women that are married, because y'all, it's tough, it's not easy, but I want you to be encouraged. And again, with our Black families, we have to make sure that we are encouraging relationships. I have a 27-year-old that's married, a 26-year-old that's engaged, and a 20-year-old that's married. Black families are important. And one thing about it is we see the preview, right? When things break up, hey, I'm not happy here, but we don't see the full picture. I'm going to a birthday party this weekend for my 1-year-old grandson. And all of us are divorced and remarried, except for my daughter-in-law's mother. So I'm the one encouraging them, look, stay together, because now we got like 6 sets of grandparents coming along, but it should only be that one set, okay? So Markee, I'm done. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to share again, just to give y'all an idea of the building blocks for Black businesses, business boards, build the relationships, and Black families.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. Perfect timing. 5 minutes before the hour. Montina Young Fraser talked about contracting at that local level. Thank you so much for showing that bid board for the state and for Henry County. There's a lot of opportunity out there. Getting on boards. On the ABC side, Melvin could tell you that we definitely make those recommendations to boards, to awards, ceremonies that are going on throughout the metropolitan area. You talked about Gwinnett County. We have Marlene Foscue on. You know, Marlene, I'm always going to going to mention you. Marlene was the first Black elected official on the county commission in Gwinnett County. So thank you for showing. We showcased your county just a moment ago as you saw it. So any questions, any comments for Montina? Any questions out there? Come on the screen, unmute yourself, raise your hand. If there's any questions, comments.
You know, Markee, I wouldn't say I have a question. This is Janae. How you doing?
Hey, Janae.
But I can attest to Montina saying as far as just getting connected to your local community. And I can testify, and Montina knows my story in terms of over the years, I've met with the mayor. 3 of my council people even live in my neighborhood, interesting enough, here in Union City. So the reason I'm sharing this is because of my connection to these folk. I've stayed plugged in. I get emails from my city. And as a result of that, I think I mentioned to the consortium a couple of weeks ago, I've been able to take advantage of a grant that were, you know, trafficking funds, ARPA funds to the city. So it's a process, folks, but it's relationship building. And I think Montina's spot on. Had I not started to establish, and let me go back further to the 2020 census. I was even part of the team before COVID hit to kind of get people on board with the census because the mayor kind of asked me to be a part of that team. So it's important just to know these folks. They may not, and of course, everybody bastardizes my name, but at least people know my face and at least identify that I'm present and accounted for. So I just want to encourage everybody. It may not be that you're necessarily like Montina is in the space that she's able to run for a council seat, but we can all do what we can to plug in accordingly, if that makes sense. So that's just my 2 cents.
Thank you, Janae. Really appreciate those comments. All right. Any other comments, questions from anyone? We have, let's see, Montina, we have 3 more minutes, y'all. 3 more minutes. If not anything else you want to add, Montina?
You know, the only thing, again, as a charge is we need to get out in our local community. I know we're going to like events and the things that are fun and this and that, but we need to be sitting in the board meetings. You go to City Hall, sit in 1 board meeting a month, show up. And when you show up, I always wear my name tag. I wear my name tag. I'm showing up. I'm showing up a little bit early. I'm staying until after executive session. So that's just the charge that I have. You know, we talk a lot about what we need to do, but let's start taking some action and showing up in these rooms and making sure that we are holding people accountable. And you do also hear about the contract opportunities for your cities. We have a $79 million budget. We have 33,000 citizens in McDonough. So imagine what the budget is in other larger counties. So there are plenty of opportunities for you.
Yes, there are plenty of opportunities out there. We have to bid on these contracts at the local, the state, and definitely the federal level. You heard us talk a lot about that federal level contracting because it's so enormous. It's so many contracts out there. But we cannot look over the local levels, the local cities, the counties, and the state of Georgia with the new certification program at the state of Georgia. We have to start bidding on more contracts. Anytime that you bid on any contracts at the local to state level, please send us an email to let us know. We can actually do some following up as an organization. As an organization, we can follow up, especially at that state level. We have some direct contacts into that state level, and we can actually follow up to check on the contract in general, more than likely. So we definitely would love to know that information. The time is, let's see, 7:59. Montina, we are right on time. Thank you so much for that great information. Today is Thursday Public Policy Talks. I see, oh, there's a hand. Raquel.
Hey, good morning. What
What's
is
going
the
on?
new certification? You said there's a new certification program. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, that is the Team Georgia. About a year and a half ago, a couple of years ago, House Bill 128. House Bill 128 passed the House, the Senate, the governor actually signed that bill. It created a minority certification program for the Department of Administrative Services. So you can go to the website that Montina had on, the Team Georgia website. Go to the section where it talks about minority certification, an MBE certification program, and actually get your business certified at the state level. Montina did show the Department of Transportation's website also. So that's a separate, that's a certification program that's been there for many, many years under the Department of Transportation. Now we have one at the state level that covers all of the departments, covers the entire state government. Again, that's at teamgeorgia.org. If I'm right about that, I know that we don't have it up, but teamgeorgia.org, Minority Business Enterprise Certification Program, a new program. We had, let's see, what's her name? Melvin, you had her on Tuesday Talks. That is the director of the actual program, was on Tuesday Talks a couple of months ago, talking about that Team Georgia minority certification. We need to flood the airways or the internet ways to get our businesses certified. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, Reginald Smith.
All right, we're 1 minute over. Reginald, we're gonna give you a shot. What's going on, Reginald?
Yes, sir. Good morning. I was just wanted to follow up on you stated that we can send an email to you guys once we're submitting contracts. Can you give me that email? I'm submitting at least 3 million in government contract volume a month. So I would love to be able to share that information with you guys.
All right, great, Reginald. That is info@advancingblackbiz.org. And that should be at the top of the chat. And Raquel, if you could put that in the chat, that would be great. But info@advancingblackbiz.org. Info@advancingblackbiz.org. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much, Montina. Thank you, Raquel, for working behind the scenes and keeping us together. I know we have several board members out there. I think I saw Crystal Spellman, ABC board member. Melvin Colvin is out there, y'all. Melvin Colvin is on the line, president and CEO of the ABC. All right, we have a few other board members out there. I think I saw also. Let's see, Paula Watts is in the room. Kara Mills, how are you? All right, y'all. Y'all have a great rest of the week, and I will see y'all on next week. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Thank you, Markee. Enjoy your rest of your vacation.
Thanks so much.
Yes.
I'm out here on this cruise, y'all.
Bye-bye.